Digging deeper on phosphate, we are talking about lithium iron phosphate batteries, and we are going all the way on this one. If you missed parts 1 and 2, check them out, link in the description. But I've got John back from First Phosphate, a company that's got some pretty interesting technology and some pretty interesting land claims in Canada that will make things pretty exciting. John, thank you for joining me one more time. Tell me about your land claims.
Yeah, so we have land claims. We're beyond land claims. So we've got a number of land claims in the Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean region of Quebec. Just so everybody knows, that's 2 hours east of Montreal. You get to Quebec City, and then 2 hours north of Quebec City, you get to a wonderful little paradise called the Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean area of Quebec. That's where Rio Tinto lives. Rio Tinto's got all the aluminum processing there. This was so important to North America during the Second World War that there is something called a NATO base right there, protecting that valley. So we were right in a very industrialized area of Quebec. It's a fun live, work, play area where people really know how to work. There's this very special igneous phosphate rock. It's 1% of the world's phosphate. It's kind of trapped in a lava molten material that has obviously settled over the millennia. We've got numbers of claims all over the place, but we've gotten to one very advanced property. It's called the Bégin-La-Marche property. You'll notice the French. It's a very French-speaking area of North America still. It's a wonderful cultural area as well. So at Bégin-La-Marche, we have basically gone past the mineral resource estimate, past the PEA, and we're now ready to start on our feasibility study and hopefully bringing this mine into production. We have excellent social acceptability locally. We're very much in tune with our Indigenous community. Everyone's very excited about this project because it's a great project. It's very close to the infrastructure. That area of the world has had some challenges with the forestry industry and other challenges as well. So they're all looking to redeploy into new projects. It's a very nice human-sized project, and it's one that's really good. The people up there really like the fact that it's going towards a good cause. Phosphate goes into food, but here even more so, it's going into neutralizing the planet of carbon, which is what everybody's very happy for. So we have an advanced project. We have a number of claims out there, but we have an advanced project ready to move into its feasibility. And once it's ready, it'll make purified phosphoric acid, which is the direct precursor for making LFP cathode active material, which will help with our battery independence, our clean energy independence in North America, which is what we're all about. We're a pan North American player, trying to get to North America to where it needs to be in terms of its carbon footprint.
Now, worth mentioning, Rio Tinto is a very big mining company, the second biggest in the world behind only BHP, as I recall. They know what they're doing. They are quite good at it. It is a British Australian company, and they are well known for their ability to extract. On your product, how do you think the price will compare? Will it be market rate? Is it going to be competitive? Do you have some unique advantage in that regard?
Yeah, so LFP is lithium, iron, and phosphate. As you know, Rio Tinto has really entered the lithium space. They just put out an offer, I think, for Arcadium Lithium. That should be closing soon. So they're really moving into lithium. They're a big player in the iron space. What we'll have is sort of the complementary, almost third portion of that, which is the phosphate to make LFP. And we're right there together in that valley. So we're really counting on Rio Tinto probably for the lithium portion of what we need to make the LFP cathode active material. The advantages that we have is, Rio Tinto's got a footprint in that area. I think it's 6 hydro dams, 6 processing facilities, logistics that up the wazoo, industrial workforce, and we're right within that footprint. We're like 20 to 30 kilometers. Our mine is from the main dam that Rio Tinto runs. It gets its electricity to process the bauxite to make aluminum. And we're also 50 kilometers from the NATO base. We're 50 kilometers from the deep sea port, about 50 kilometers from rail. And our facility, First Saguenay, which is making the iron phosphate precursor that goes into LFP CAM, is also just basically backs onto the NATO base. So we're all within that footprint where there's excellent logistics and economics. When you start a phosphate mine, you're moving the stuff by the ton. It's like $500 per ton, pretty much. It's not like gold where it's just a small ounce of it, and it's worth a lot. So you have to be close to the logistics to make it happen. It's like a lot of the lithium projects where they're all having issues is in terms of the cost, the capex, to build the roads and their infrastructure to get to these deposits. We don't have any of that. We're right on municipal road. Um, we're on highway, like provincial, Trans Canada highway, pretty much is like a kilometer from our site. We're very close to workforce. We're in an area that there's people that worked in the forestry industry. They need to redeploy because that is dying because of a number of issues. And we've got excellent social acceptability. There's not a bridge to develop. We're right in there. We're right in the heart of a very industrialized area. So that's the real benefit in terms of getting this up as soon as possible, and without the surprises, right? Because all the mining projects always have these nasty surprises. So when you see this, you're kind of like, oh, okay, the surprises will be limited. You hope, right?
Sure. But the
Yeah,
cost, you're going to be competitive. You're going to have a good margin, is what I'm hearing.
yeah. Look, I mean, for making purified phosphoric acid right now, most of it's being made off of sedimentary rock. So it's got to be processed into a fertilizer grade phosphate. Guys who do that or companies who do that are basically fertilizer producers, and then they skim the purest part off the top and they make purified phosphoric acid. It's such a sort of a pain and such a distraction from the current business that only very few of them do it. There's only 4 in the industrial Western world that do it. This rock that we have, the beauty of this, Brian, is that you don't have to go through the fertilizer. You go directly to purified phosphoric acid pretty much. 90 to 95% of this stuff is produced directly into purified phosphoric acid, which goes into making the battery. And there's just a little 5% waste stream, which is left behind, which you recycle into agriculture. So that's where the
Yeah.
holy grail is going to be. As you know, it's like with lithium, right? They talk about lithium, spodumene, brine, whatever they call it, but really the holy grail is getting that to a hydroxide or a carbonate, which then can enter the process for making the battery. So we go directly to purified phosphoric acid immediately with technology that's been out there for over 70 years. And we work with the world's largest producer of purified phosphoric acid at the moment to have access to that technology. So we're covered on all ends.
So you've got a pilot line set up that's doing the procedure, your procedure. Tell me about the successes you've had with that.
Yeah, so that's a very important part. So we've been able to take the phosphate rock from the ground, separate it out. You take out it comes together with iron and titanium. We separate both of those, and there's a secondary recovery which drops our prices even lower. We end up with a very, very pure phosphate concentrate, the world's purest. It gets up to what's called 41% P2O5. The next closest thing is about 35 to 36% from some carbonated rock in Russia. And then from there, it drops down to 31% in Morocco, and then it drops down into the 20s and the teens. So it's extremely pure phosphate concentrate. We take that, we turn that into purified phosphoric acid. Immediately, we've been able to run all those tests. If you go onto our website under pilot plants under our assets. You'll see every single one of these pilot plants. You'll see us pull out the titanium. Maybe it's something to also show your viewers at some point, Brian. I would think it's an amazing process. We go from the rock, pull out the iron, pull out the titanium, make the phosphate concentrate, make the merchant grade acid, turn the merchant grade acid into purified phosphoric acid. And our next one is going to be to make the first battery cells out of this purified phosphoric acid and out of this iron, both coming from our mine, together with some of our partners in the lithium space and the graphite space that make the world's first battery cell, LFP battery cell made from fully North American feedstock. That's what we're trying to go to here, in that's where all this beta is going to end up. All of this pilot work.
I'm telling you, man, I know it sounds silly, but I'm excited. I'm sure that people in your family are like the people in my family who are like, I get it. You sound like the kid who's excited about dinosaurs and won't stop talking, but we're here now. So this is great for me. Time to market. What are you thinking?
So our time to market is we're targeting for 2029. That's
Mm.
obviously an aggressive time plan. That's with everything going right. That's with permitting being what it is right now. We got good news on the permitting front. Seems like Canadian government and especially U.S. government is looking to really clean that up here with the new administration. Hopefully, some of that good news that hopefully comes out of the United States spills over to Canada, and for us to stay competitive, we start cleaning up the permitting process. But we already have an ace up our sleeve, and the ace is we have extremely good relationship with our indigenous community out there, the community of Mastoyash, and they are fully behind the project. They're looking to invest in the project. We have a full collaboration agreement with them, and it's on their sort of territorial land, so they're willing to just work with us as quickly as possible to advance environmental studies and everything else. And that's been a huge challenge for a lot of projects. I mean, if you don't have that buy-in, things just sit on a desk for a year. Whereas our things, one day it's like, hey, it's coming, approve it, okay, make sure it's done properly, da da da, a week, and it moves through. And that's important. That's why community relations are very important in these projects.
Absolutely. If they're not behind you, they can make your life very difficult. Uh, are you able to tell me any of the partners that you're working with in terms of actually making a battery?
So there's partners on all sides. There's a partner in the purified phosphoric acid world. You'll see that in one of our press releases. It's the largest producer of purified phosphoric acid in the world. They're out of Belgium. There's a partner on the iron side, which is GK and Hoganese. It's a company out of Tennessee. It sort of funnels back up into Dowlais Group, which is a big uh, uh, mining company listed in on the London Stock Exchange. So they're there for all the iron powder that we need. Now, in terms of making the batteries, the LFP cathode active material technology, it's all outside of China. We work with a group called Altian out of Las Vegas, Nevada, who were their founder there was one of the first producers of LFP CAM back in the early 2000s before we lost the technology in North America and went over to China. We also have two other experimental technologies that we work with, one out of Australia, one out of the UK. And that's kind of where we're at now. So we can get all the way from phosphate rock, all the way to purified phosphoric acid, and all the way to iron phosphate precursor and lithium iron phosphate cathode active material. We can do all of that. It's just a matter of getting all that rolling, getting the financing together, and continuing to move on and get that done. I mean, it's all there. We have a clearly defined technological process. We see ourselves more as a technology company backwards integrated into the mine than we are a miner moving forward into technology. I've always been a technology guy. That's where I come from, and that's the way I see this.
So, guys, this is, I don't know. I think it's exciting. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Do me a favor if you would go to the website, firstphosphate.com. Is that it?
Yeah, absolutely. You got it. Lots
Yep.
of information there.
And it's got all the things we talked about. It's got links to videos. It's got links to LinkedIn. It's got all the links you need. And in the comments, yeah, let us know. What did we miss? What did we misunderstand? I am rushing this a little bit because I know you've got an important meeting to get to in about a minute. So guys, thank you for watching it. Go back and watch the first two parts if you haven't, and stay tuned, stay juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in this, our electrified future.